I want to talk about our mindset and continue that dialogue and how we are programmed. Yes, how we're programmed. So it reminds me of a situation that I was in as a teenager in New York City. Me and my man were about to cross the street during a busy intersection. We get the green light on the other side that says walk. As we're crossing the street, we pass a car that has a man and a woman in the car. The man immediately is looking at me and my man, stares at us, and then he looks down at his lock, and he immediately hits his lock and the lock to where his lady was sitting on the passenger side. Immediately, when me and my man saw that, man, that hurt, because he doesn't even know us. So think about this for a second. Think about the guy's reaction. See, his reaction is the result of how he has been programmed. So something happened in his life. He had another experience that has shaped his outlook on me and my man without even knowing who I am. That caused a reaction. Man, this is why it's so dangerous when we think about how we are programmed. As a result of that, his actions lead to imprinting on both of us now. Because now I take something away from that same experience that's now lodged in my subconscious being. It becomes part of my experience, and now I'm programmed as well. So it's a domino effect. So basically, all of life experiences shape our minds. They help program our minds. And the program, it gets lodged into our subconscious being. And we don't even know it sometimes. You see, one of the dangerous things is that we don't know how we've been programmed, or we're not truly aware of how we've been programmed. Think about that. Every experience we have helps shape us. And it's truly unsure of really identifying all the things that have just been poured into our brains, into our mindsets. So think about an orange. You know without a shadow of a doubt, if you were to squeeze that orange juice would come out. But what happens when we receive pressure, when we get squeezed? What comes out of us? Whoo, that's scary. You see, from the time we're in our mother's womb up until 7 years old, many experts say this is our greatest area of learning. This is when we receive the most information and process it. This helps shape our belief system. This helps shape our mindset. And then everything else that we come into contact with contributes to that, contributes to our mindset. So as adults, with a stronger conscious awareness of what we do and what we expose ourselves to, we have to manage our mind. We have to protect and guard what goes into our mind. And when you think about what's going into our minds, the things we take in, like television, like the movies we watch, like watching the news, like the music we listen to, like social media. And recently, with all the technology with social media, then we got this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. Yes, that is also programming our minds. Scrolling through and watching people's fake news and their lives, the highlight reels of all the good times, not the arguments, not the heartbreaks, not the bad times. That's also programming our mind. So we have to be aware of that. We have to proceed with caution. And you know, sometimes when these things enter our minds and we don't even realize it, it's in our subconscious being. And we get these thoughts that are just recycled over and over in our minds. And we get random thoughts that we don't even know how they came up, but they're in our subconscious being. Napoleon Hill said, each of us is what we are because of the dominating thoughts we permit to occupy our minds. So it's huge that we understand we have to guard our minds. Protect what you allow to get into your subconscious being. So how do we do that? Here's a couple of tips. Number one, stay away from negative programming. Be mindful of the TV shows. Be mindful of the movies. Be mindful of the news. Be mindful of the music. Be mindful of the social media noise that we allow into our minds. That's number one. Number two, you may have to cut off some of your friends. Yes, some of your friends just are so toxic and negative and you don't even realize that. But they're impacting you and your mindset and they're programming you. So be careful to have negative people in your circle of influence. Number three, let's be careful what comes out of our mouths as far as how we criticize people or gossip about people or critique people. Because as we send that out, it'll come back to us. That's a universal law. So be careful what we send out into the world, the vibes we send out into the universe. These are just 3 simple ways to help protect and guard your mind. Oh man, I got so much more on this, so much more on this. So keep your head up, guard your mind. Peace!